Blessings and peace to you. This is SB Favor Thinking Podcast, and my name is SB Favor. How are you doing today? It is Monday. Happy Monday, April 10th, 2023. Another wonderful day and another day to be thankful. And as I always say, if you focus on what is good, then you can project something good to happen. So focus on what is good. It does not benefit you at all to focus on the negative things, but focus on the things that give you joy. Focus on the things that give you peace. Focus on the things that help you to be a better person. So focus on what is good. If you are out there traveling about today, make sure that you are keeping yourself safe. Make sure you pray. Make sure you use that hand sanitizer and wear your mask if you need to. A lot of people are still wearing their mask. I wear my mask sometimes, not everywhere, but when I feel like I need to wear my mask, yes, I still wear my mask. Why? Because I want to be safe. So anyway, I hope everyone will have and is having a good Monday. A Monday full of joy, full of peace, full of grace, full of excellence. Yes, you can have that type of day. Well, I just wanted to come on and talk to you a little bit about something that was on my mind. But before I get into that, I would like to remind you, if you would like to give to the podcast, you can give at Cash App, $SB Favor, or you can give at Venmo at SB Favor. Thank you so much for your support and your donations. Keep being a blessing. For those of you that have already sent donations to the podcast, I appreciate you, and I thank you so much for your support. Well, my random talk today is about being misunderstood. Unfortunately, a lot of us have been misunderstood. One time, 2 times, 3 times, or many times. All of us. And at some point in our life, we all have been misunderstood. And so today I was thinking about not just being misunderstood, but those that commit to misunderstanding you. There are people that are committed to misunderstanding you. No matter what you say, no matter how you say it, they will oppose everything that you say. Have you ever experienced that? Have you ever experienced someone basically just misunderstanding everything that you say, and no matter how you explained it, they still came back and said, that don't make sense to me? Well, I've come to the conclusion that there are people, unfortunately, that are committed to misunderstanding you. So what do? You try to communicate well. You try to explain exactly what you mean and why you say what you say, but they still come back and say, that don't make sense. I don't understand you. You know why they keep saying that? Because they don't want to understand you. Now, I'm not saying this in a negative context. I'm saying this because for those of us that are constantly misunderstood or have experienced someone constantly misunderstanding them, you have to know how to respond to that. You have to know how to keep the right mindset when you experience that. Because if you are a person that communicates very well and you are a person that gives an explanation for your actions, and you're one of those people, you care about others. You just don't do things just to do it. You do things and you explain yourself and you communicate effectively so that what you are saying is understood. If you're one of those people that do that, and there are one or two people that are constantly just opposing everything you say, and they are committed to misunderstanding you by how they act, then guess what? You have to just accept the fact that they're not going to get you. They're not going to understand you. They will never understand you. You have to keep a mindset of peace. You have to keep a mindset of confidence. You have to keep a mindset of not entering into a place of debate. Because when they tell you, oh, I don't understand that, or they say to you, that doesn't make sense to me, in that moment, that's bait. That's bait that they are throwing at you so that you could respond a certain way. And then once they throw the bait and you take the bait, then you end up in an argument. And you don't want to do that. You don't want yourself to be triggered by being misunderstood. When someone cares about you and they misunderstand what you're saying, or they may not agree with what you are saying, the person that cares about you will give you an opportunity to explain yourself so that they can understand you. A lot of us, we do things, we say things, and we may not always be right. And that's okay. Because in that moment when you know that you are not right, you can use the next opportunity you have to make it right with that person and communicating. But when someone is constantly saying to you, I don't understand you, that don't make sense, or they just oppose everything that you say, if you experience that with the same people over and over, I would say that they are committed to misunderstanding you. Now, I know that, that sounds kind of crazy because when I thought about that, I said, wow, that's pretty wild. That somebody could be committed to misunderstanding you. And the question that came to me was, why? Why would someone be committed to misunderstanding you? Why? They would be committed to misunderstanding you because that person may want to discredit you. They may want to discredit your knowledge. They may want to discredit the very thing that you are saying. Because what you are saying could be so true, it applies to them, or what you are doing could be a mirror of what they are supposed to be doing. So when someone is constantly opposing and misunderstanding you, and they don't even try to understand you, they don't even try to listen to really, really understand you, I just simply believe that they are committed to misunderstanding you, especially when it's the same person over and over. If there are 10 people in the room and you are speaking to all of them, the same words, the same language, and that same person misunderstands you, that same person opposes every single thing you say, what would you think? Would you think that that person just has a different mindset, or would you think that that person is committed to misunderstanding you? I mean, and I'm not saying that I'm completely 100% right, okay? My views. I'm not saying that I'm 100% right. But when you experience something that is factually true, then what else do you have to go on? I mean, I'm always open to different views because it's important to have an open mind to learn. But when you experience something in your life, or when you observe something happening with others, and you see it repetitively over and over and over again, Now it's no longer an opinion. Now you get to see that this is actually happening. But my response to my observation is this. When someone is consistently, repetitively opposing or misunderstanding you, you must understand in that moment that it is important that you communicate effectively. And if you have to explain something to someone over and over again, it's okay to explain it over and over again. It's okay to make a conscious effort to help them to understand what you are saying. But if that person still does not respond to you to understand, and this individual does the same thing over and over and over again, guess what? It's my opinion. They are committed to misunderstanding you. So what do you do? How do you deal with that type of person? Well, I would say just listen to them. And when you communicate with them, if they misunderstand you, don't debate. Don't defend yourself. Just allow them to misunderstand you. Don't even argue. Don't even have a comeback verbally. But just allow them to be who they are. But in that moment, you make sure that you maintain your confidence. You make sure that you explain what you were saying effectively. Make sure that you examine yourself to know that you tried to communicate as well as you could. Don't feel bad. Don't beat yourself. Don't examine yourself to the point where you think something is wrong with you. Don't do that. Because when someone commits to misunderstanding you, honestly, that's a personal problem. That individual could have a personal issue with you, especially if they don't do that to others. And you don't want to focus on the fact that they may have a personal issue with you. You don't want to focus on that. What you want to focus on is making sure that you maintain the confidence you need to keep being you. Don't stop being who you are. Don't change how you communicate. Don't become something that you're not supposed to become. Don't dumb down. Don't become less for them. Don't question if you are intelligent or if you are communicating well. Don't question yourself. If other people understand you and they receive what you are saying when you have to communicate something to them, then communicate with those that understand. Communicate more with those that give you peace of mind when you explain something to them. But for the people that constantly, consistently try to trigger you because they want to oppose what you're saying or misunderstand you, guess what? Don't debate. Don't argue. And don't become triggered by what they are saying. Because a lot of times, in the midst of a conversation, or if you are explaining something to someone or a group of people, and one or two people have a certain attitude toward you, obviously there's something wrong. There's a personal thing going on. It has to be. None of us are always 100% correct. And we should always have an attitude of humility to receive instructions if we need to be corrected. But if you are having a conversation with someone and everything you say and everything you do, they oppose you or they misunderstand you, like I said, don't defend yourself. Don't get into a position of trying to prove yourself or work for this person to understand you, because they're not going to understand you. Don't be hard on yourself. Just understand that everyone is different. And if this individual, or if there's more than one, if certain people misunderstand and understand you, then just let them be who they are. Let them be who they are, and you make sure that you keep your peace. If you make a personal decision for your life and somebody criticizes you to the point where they try to make you feel bad, look, just keep your peace. Keep your peace concerning the decisions you make, the things you say. Of course, if you say something wrong, you do want to be accountable. But keep the peace that is entitled to you. You are entitled to that peace. The peace of God I'm talking about. So keep your peace, maintain your confidence, and keep being who you are. Because if you have to dumb down just to have a conversation with someone, or if you have to dumb down just to be in someone's presence, you don't need to be there. If you have to speak a certain way for certain people to understand you, then you don't need to speak to them. As simple as that. You know, this topic, it sounds like something young people, very young people could go through, teenagers or something like that, excuse me. But guess what? Miscommunication could happen within any age group of people. But like I said, if an individual refuses to understand you, refuses to understand how you communicate, what you say, who you are, but they are committed to misunderstanding you, think about it. You don't have to keep communicating with that person. Listen to what they have to say, but maybe they can't handle your conversation. Maybe your conversation is too heavy for them. Maybe what you say is too much for them. Maybe they prefer to have a different type of conversation. But in terms of them being committed to misunderstanding you, I mean, that is just as clear as day. When someone is committed to misunderstanding you, because they work to discredit you, and everything they say is to critique you. So, but this topic, I wanted to talk about this because this is something that I observed and had a conversation with someone about. And it was really interesting because I started thinking, like, why would someone commit to misunderstanding somebody? Why would someone commit to just miscommunicating or not understanding someone and accusing them of not communicating correctly, so to speak? But it's real. It's real. So I'm going to wrap it up. That's enough of that. Well, I hope you have a good Monday, and that's what I'm thinking about today. And that topic was inspired. Like I said, it was inspired by a conversation I had and something that I observed. And guess what? We're human. We all make mistakes, and sometimes we do things we're not even aware of, and we all have to do better. So I just hope that this gives you something to think about, and you have a good Monday. Of course, stay sweet. Make sure you pray. And keep listening to SB Favorite Thinking Podcast. And on that note, if you need to reach me, you can reach me at sbfavorite@yahoo.com via email. And you can also find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I have a TikTok handle as well. There is inspirational and motivational content there. Make sure you subscribe to me wherever you listen to podcasts. If you have a special network or channel that you like to listen to, just Google me and you can find me everywhere. SB Favorite Thinking Podcast. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. There will be special content there, so make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's very important that you do that because I'm on audio on a lot of networks, and on the YouTube channel I will be doing video. So thank you so much for tuning in. And like I said, you have a good Monday. And make sure you stay focused on what is good. And make sure you be kind to someone today. And lastly, if you would like to give to the podcast, you can give at Cash App, $SB Favor. Or you can give at Venmo at SB Favor. Thank you so much for your donations and your support. And make sure you share this podcast with others. Thanks again for listening, and you have a good day.